Yet he's given Sudan only words and no action.
I'm going to let everybody weigh in, but let's go take another question from the audience. Eh?
Jay has a question. What is it?
Hi, my question is, what does John Kerry mean by America needs to pass a global test? Is he more concerned with America's protection or America's popularity?
Well, that's a good question, and let's let a Democratic senator from Indiana, that would be Senator Bynum. Why don't you answer it?
I think what Senator Kerry was attempting to say was that the way in which the Bush administration went about gathering support for our effort in Iraq was not the most effective way to go about getting the kind of support that we needed to be as successful as possible there. I don't think he meant to say that there was some sort of test that we had to pass. I don't think he believes that that's the case, and it's not the case.
Because there's been a lot of confusion, and Susan, you can speak directly for the Kerry campaign. When he said there must be a global test, what did he mean?
First of all, that sentence has totally been taken out of context and distorted. The preceding sentence was that he will never give any nation or any institution a veto over our national security, but that when we act, that action needs to be consistent with the facts and the truth, and we need to bring the American people along with us. And if we're going to sustain international support, the international community has to see the rationale for our action. What President Bush did in Iraq was take the country and the international community to war on the basis of false intelligence. He has never acknowledged to the international community that that was a mistake, and as a consequence, we are now in a place where the preemption option is desperately undermined because we don't have solid intelligence.
Senator Coleman respond to that. Here's a question, though, that we asked in our CNN Gallup poll. Should the president pay more attention to the views of other countries? 65% of the American public, a decisive majority, said yes, 27% said no.
I think, by the way, paying attention is important. There's no question about that. I think the president has. The president has assembled a coalition of over 30 nations, which Senator Kerry has called the coalition of the bribed and the coerced. What's fascinating is we keep focusing on the president. He's the commander-in-chief. We've got to look at Senator Kerry. In 1991, when there was a coalition that Senator Kerry has lauded, a broad international coalition, Senator Kerry voted against going after Saddam was gobbling up Kuwait. So I mean, we can talk about all the words you want to talk about, but you got to look at Senator Kerry's record, a 20-year record of simply being wrong on these kind of foreign policy issues.
The fact is, President Bush took our nation to war on the basis of false intelligence, which he then further distorted. He took us to a place on the basis of weapons of mass destruction that didn't exist. He took us to war on the basis of a link between Saddam Hussein and al-Qaeda, which doesn't exist. And he says if he had it to do all over again, he'd do it exactly the same way. Well, I think the American people want to know, what would we have been doing if we had done things differently in the meantime about Iran, about North Korea, which have serious nuclear capabilities?
Senator Kerry was on the intelligence committee.